Hi everyone, it's Danny. Alrighty, this is the second part of the video on orchid maintenance. If you missed the first part where we discuss about maintaining the upper half of an orchid, click right here and you will be able to see that video. I will also add a link in the description, so if you want to check that out first, you can go ahead and check it now. Today, however, we will discuss about maintenance on the bottom part of the orchid, meaning the root system. This is one of the most important maintenance routines that you need to keep in mind, and I will tell you what I mean. Now, if you grow your orchid in a home, most probably you'll have them potted in a plastic pot or a ceramic pot, and you will most probably have some media to retain more moisture and make your life easier. This media can be bark, sphagnum moss, most probably an organic material. Now, like every organic material, the media in which we grow our orchids in will start to decompose after a while. So the general maintenance routine for our orchids is to repot them from time to time. Usually after 1, 2, or 3 years, depends on environment, it is a good idea to repot our orchids. Now, why is it so important to maintain the health of the media? Well, to better explain this, let us start by thinking about orchids in their natural habitat. Now here I have a mounted orchid. Certainly it does not grow in its natural habitat, but it grows pretty similar to how it would grow in nature. Epiphyte orchids attach themselves to tree trunks or tree branches, and this is how they extend their root system. They do not grow in soil. Now in nature, they have a vast open space where they can grow their roots on. Furthermore, their host, let's call it like that, is not dead. It's pretty much alive. Now, the major problem with our potting media is that in about 2 or 3 years, it will start to decompose. In nature, orchids don't necessarily deal with that. As I was saying, their host is alive, so it's not decomposing. Also, if somehow parts of their host starts to die and decompose, they're not actually confined to a pot. They live in open space, so their roots are free to find spaces that are not rotting. Also, decomposition processes are far more rapid in a confined space than in an open space. In nature, orchids certainly do not live in pots, they live in open spaces. Now, for this reason, mounted orchids like I have here don't necessarily need to be repotted or remounted often. They can actually stay like this for years and years because this bark, even though it will decompose at some point, it will not be as fast as the bark we have in our pots, simply because it is an airy environment. This does not stay moist all the time. This is the major difference between keeping an orchid mounted and keeping an orchid in a pot. This saves us time for watering. This does not decompose as fast. Now, why is decomposition bad for an orchid's roots? Well, through decomposition, special chemical processes happen that make the environment more acidic. There are also some toxins that are released, and through decomposition, the bark becomes more water retentive as it degrades and does not maintain its shape. And this very soggy environment is a perfect environment for molds and mushrooms and all sorts of things that you don't really want to have with your orchid. And I'll show you my example. This is an orchid that has been potted in this media for about 3 years, and it is time to repot it. So if you look inside the pot, and hopefully you can see all of these white things, they are funguses and molds that have developed because the media has become acidic. There is a lot of feeding material for this funguses, not only the fact that it stays moist, but it also provides the chemical substances on which molds feed. Now, if I leave this go on for too much, it can actually damage the orchid's roots. The parallel with nature is that orchids don't grow in molds in nature. They thrive in ventilated locations, locations which do not promote the growth of certain molds like this. So they are not adapted to withstand them. Also, they are not adapted to very acid environments and not adapted to very soggy environments. Furthermore, I would like to take into consideration the human aspect of everything. Now, personally, I get very nauseous from the smell of moldy media. Some people also have very bad allergies to molds and spores and so on. So if you think about it, it's in your benefit as well to maintain the proper health of the root system and of the orchid media. Your health is the most important thing in the world, so don't take any risks. So, as I was saying, it is really a good time now to repot this orchid.